Welcome back. It's the last lap of the show. I'm still having a conversation with Olabode Shomi, who is the CEO of Capture Limited and and editor-at-large of Energy magazine. Thank you so much for sticking around. And so, as we coast home now, still talking about this restructuring of the NNPC, which is supposed to automatically ensure that things are done right with regards, payment and purchase of crude and how revenue is actually returned to the government coffers. And now we also know that another big issue has been with regards ensuring that partners or companies that work with the NNPC do right. And one of the things that's come up is this petroleum industry bill, which is supposed to automatically ensure that everybody toes the same line, but we're still having that hanging over our heads. How can the passage now of the petroleum industry bill help Dr. Emmanuel Kachiku do his job in ensuring that the NNPC gets to where it's supposed to be?
Well, first of all, the PIB is a tool. I would like to put it that way. It's a bill, yes, which is when it becomes a law, it becomes an act. That is set up to help Nigerians to better maximize the benefits of the industry. Let me take, since we're in business, I'll take it a little back now. For most countries that have proper employment figures and all that, you find out that the greatest sources of income are usually the greatest sources of employment. It's basically that. But in Nigeria, our greatest source of income is one of the least source of employment. And that's one of the things PIB is supposed to fix with the local content laws and all that. And the fact that, the issue still remains that there are many side businesses and side services that support the oil and gas industry, not just drilling. So those areas, once Nigerians become competent in it and all that, they have right of first refusal, in which case they're supposed to benefit from it. So that's an aside. That's one aim that the PIB is supposed to do, amongst many things. That does not in any way conflict with the marching orders of the NNPC, of the GMD, and what the new government has said.
It doesn't conflict, but then it kind of helps, because you see, right now, he could do with a lot of help.
Yes, but the point I'm trying to make is that there are a lot of ulterior motives, backed by interest, by industry players, which is part of the things that are hindering the development and the passage of the bill. And some of these people, or some of these players, are very powerful people. They're very powerful players, and they affect a lot of things. So in simple terms, it's not as simple as it looks. But it is important for us as a people to begin to push what is important to us. And that is why I call for greater knowledge about the industry, greater knowledge about the things that affect us. And it is that knowledge that will enable us to determine what is important. And the more we push for it, the more there's a momentum, there's a force for it. The PIB itself, as part of the law, recommends the unbundling of the NNPC. But, having said that, unbundling of the NNPC does not necessarily solve the problem. Because if you unbundle it and they still function like the way they function now, there isn't much that is going to change.
But if you unbundle it, you now have a clear delineation of what everybody or what every department is supposed to be doing.
Oh, that exists now. Whether they are doing that is a different thing. Each department is clear in terms of their objectives. And when they unbundle it and they set goals for them, doesn't still mean there won't be conflict. Because you see, it's people that run organizations. And as long as those people have certain culture that does not necessarily help progress, those issues will be there. So the unbundling, the activities, the shake-ups in and of itself is not the solution. If those shake-up, if those unbundling, if those activities does not alter the culture of the system, does not provoke a system that will help us to achieve our goals, it will be a case of all motion and no movement.
But then we're talking about change. And we want that change to come for all sectors of the economy, particularly the oil and gas sector. And the NNPC is the poster boy, and as I will always say, it's smack dab in the middle. If, for instance, the president had decided not to restructure the NNPC, but to start the process of unbundling. Do you think that all this, the issues you just mentioned, do you think that most of it would have started getting solved, or giving everybody the impression that, look, this man means business? Already, everybody gets the impression that this man means business for the NNPC, but then we'll now see a clear-cut agenda for the NNPC.
You see, so that I'm perfectly clear, all the steps that have been done, I don't see any faults in them per se. All the activities by the president, by the GMD, I don't see any faults in them per se. What I am saying is that, in as much as they are taking these steps that is making change, we must not lose focus of the ethos of the change, which is actually a change in spirit, a change that will bring results rather than a cosmetic change. It is very possible that with all the activities that is being done, with all the positive intended steps that has been taken, that we still end up where we started. That is possible. And that is why I've been talking about systems, I've been talking about culture. Those are critical things in terms of ultimately bringing results. The GMD is one man. The president is one man. He is not going to be in every bid. He's not going to be in every memo. It's not, so it is working with the people to ensure that those people achieve results. Yes, there is the fact that there must be consequences, which is where EFCC and all the law enforcement agencies come. But it is not just; those are not the only things that deter. You understand? The first and most important thing is an orientation, and that is where places like the National Orientation Agency comes in. They also have a responsibility to ensure that the people there see themselves as stakeholders of change. It is when people own that change, when the people that are working within NNPC, working within the stakeholder organizations, see themselves as owning the change, that is when the change will really come.
So yes, so we can genuinely say that hope is rising for the NNPC.
Hope is rising if the system is made to work.
Well, how quickly that hope will actually, that change will come is, well, we'll keep our eye on that. Well, thank you so much, Olabode, for coming on the program this morning. It's been an interesting conversation.
Thank you.
And I hope to have you on the program again.
My pleasure.
Olabode Showomi is the editor-at-large for Energia magazine, is also the CEO of pRT Limited, speaking to us on restructuring of the NNPC, hope rising for the state-owned oil firm. But that's the program for today. Many thanks for spending time with us. Of course, we're back again, same time tomorrow, talk more about issues in business, politics, and the economy, of course, is what we do best. And don't forget to, join the conversation online at Biz Morning at Channels Television, or you can tweet at me, at Harriet Agbeni, at Bosin Business. He'll be happy to mind your business, even though he's not around at the moment. But that's the show for today. Many thanks for spending time with us. I'm Harriet Agbeni. Bye-bye.